Good evening and welcome to the Get Established Show. This is your favorite internet uncles. My name is Big. We got Shine. We got Chilla. And guess who is back in the building today? Who's back, ladies and gentlemen? It's D. Jones. Back in the house. We will kick it off. Remember, y'all, if you want to make comments or questions, I'm going to put the link in the chat. And we're going to get it started. Welcome to the Get Established Show.
What's going on, everybody? It's good to be back, man. It's good to be back.
Absolutely. What it do? What it do?
Hey, I did a little binge watching yesterday. I watched this TV show called Reasonable Doubts. I've been watching it for a couple of years. I'm not sure if y'all familiar with it. It's about a female lawyer. She go hard for her clients.
Jax.
Jax, exactly. Yeah. So I just wrapped up this current season, and it got me thinking, man. Justice. I think about justice in the Black community, justice in the court system. Do we really feel like we get justice when it comes to the due process of being judged by your peers? They had a case on the show that dealt with woman killing her husband. And it turned out that she didn't really kill her husband. She was protecting her child, but she was convicted of murder. And she was convicted by a jury. And even though, she had been an abused wife for several years, this jury convicted her of first-degree murder. Mm-hmm. And I say that because, you have these people that you have to, I won't say put a show on. And the reason I say show, because you're being interrogated in front of a jury. And depending on how you answer the questions or not, it could determine your freedom. And the reason that that's an issue for me, because, people have issues with speaking in public, especially being scrutinized by somebody else. They may or may not say the wrong thing because of their nerves. And if they say the wrong thing, this could cost them their freedom. How do y'all feel about it?
I mean, I think it's important to when I got you what the question that you're saying about what to say, and that can be an issue. And then you talk about the nerves. I watched the trial with Young Thug.
Yeah, that's been big in the news over the last.
Yeah, there was a guy on there named Lil Woody, and Lil Woody said nothing to incriminate himself during the whole process of the trial. But you have to be prepared mentally, and you almost got to have some answers in your head ahead of time to be able to make sure that you're going to say something that won't incriminate. Because it's not always about telling the truth. It's about conveying the message of the truth. Because everybody's sworn in, but sometimes you can say something and it can make people, process it differently in the wrong way. And that jury, you need that jury on your side, especially if you're the one that's under conviction.
Well, this is the thing, Big. Some people have money to have lawyers in place to help prep them, and some people don't. If you're an individual and you come from a poverty-stricken situation and you get locked up and you go to trial and you have a public defender, a lot of times they're trying to cut deals. It's not even about proving your innocence at that point. They're trying to cut deals, man. Mm-hmm. The public defender is usually in cahoots with the district attorney, and innocent people end up getting hurt in the process. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's about what you can convey to the jury, but everybody's not afforded the right situation to have a lawyer that can prep them for those situations.
Agreed.
So, that's my thing. How do you get justice in a situation like that? You don't have a lawyer. The system is working against you, and you already know what it is. We're Black, and the thing is, in the show Reasonable Doubts, there was a comment made. You're lucky that you had the right people around you. You're lucky you had the right people around you. That's what one of the messages in the show was. Everybody's not afforded that, man. So what do you do? I mean, we've had several situations come up in the last few years about these celebrities going on trial for different reasons. And then you think about the common folk going on trial, being charged of this and that. And this is the thing with social media in place. A lot of times, if the story breaks, you're guilty before you even try it. So now you got social media working against you. You may be in a situation where you can't afford a lawyer, and the public defender and the district attorney are in cahoots. How the hell you get a fair trial, man? That's all I'm saying, man.
You know what's funny? We know back in hip hop and in Black culture, there was a trial that happened not too long ago that was a part of Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez.
Yeah, remember.
And I saw something this morning on the news where he might be getting out because allegedly people are saying that he might have been involved in part of the process of doing the argument, but he was actually sleeping with both of those women. So allegedly the other the best friend could have been the one that actually pulled that trigger and not him.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know if you saw the clip, but that's what his dad was upset because he said there was witness tampering.
I'm gonna say this much. I seen what you said. I even seen something on that case that she came back and kind of I think admitted that she did lie because she supposedly got shot in the foot, and it's a bit controversy. Some say glass hit her foot and different stuff, but justice is not fair, no matter what. Sometimes you can buy justice, and like Derek said, those that don't have money, sometimes it's just unfortunate in a system that you will look at can be fair, that sometimes it's just not fair. Um, Sometimes, you look at history, so many people in the past have did so much wickedness and they never been prosecuted. And I mean, I'm not trying to change the narrative, but it's like you seen in Mississippi and so many different places, so many people been victimized, people been murdered, and nobody has been held accountable for the heinous things they have done and have murdered people. And when we go to court, they always put the poor, unfortunate people on trial, and we get, charged. And I'm not saying everybody who's on trial are not innocent, because some people are guilty of some of the things they do, but it's a whole lot of innocent people who they try to make plea deals with or even put on death row, and DNA tests come back years later, and these people have been locked up 30, 40 years, and they come to find out these people ain't did the crime, but they never go back and find the person who committed them crimes. It's always been somebody innocent that sat there and lost lots of their life behind bars, being falsely accused. Because and look, it's just like if you look at Emmett Till, I mean, it was allegedly, the woman even said she lied. That man got mutilated. So it's like in history, I don't look at justice being justice. You know what I'm saying? I look at you going to court and you trying to find a representative that can defend you. And you can have a prosecutor, because a lawyer don't have to touch the book. The lawyer can sit there and tell lies and just make the jury believe or even feel, like we said, we use believe, but if he can paint a good picture to make you seem guilty, you can walk out of there, charged with something that didn't even happen. It's not it ain't always when a lawyer don't have to have the evidence, but you as an accuser or a victim, you got to have evidence to prove that you are innocent. And like Derek said, where the media is, once they said you are, if somebody come up there and said big and bells at $10,000, and it's all over TV and all over news, and then they found the money, they never come back and say, we apologize to Gary Williams the third. It was a misunderstanding, ladies and gentlemen, and they don't broadcast it all day. We found the money. It was a false accusation. They don't do that. That stimulation follows you even when you innocent. And they say, well, we found him and let you out. People still look at, oh, he embezzled all that money. They see that once they start that follows you. Everything they lie, it trails you. You can be accused of child molesting is not true. You can be charged of rape, and then they come to find out it was all a false accusation. But they don't come back on TV and make a big issue and promote he was innocent. He's innocent. They lied. He's innocent. They don't do that. They never come back and say we apologize for falsely accusing this person, or we apologize. It was somebody. They never do that.
Yeah,
that's the court of public opinion. You always gonna. I mean, you. I could say that's this. That who's the I go back to with D and his when he talks about Michael Vick, you know, after he did his time and paid his dues, his fines or whatever for the dog fighting, it's still public opinion is going to scrutinize you because of how people feel about certain situations. And one of the things that's like high is animals, you know, pets, you know, the love of pets. So, you know, that's going to be something that scrutinizes you. But to go back to the justice part, and you know, and find how can you get out of it? We all know that the only way you could do it in the system that we're living in is by paying your way out. If you ain't got the way to pay out, you're gonna pay by spending time. Unless you get a lawyer and pay them lump sums of money in order for them to advocate for you and in the way that they know how to do with that. That's how it is in the court of opinions in regards to what we have to deal with.
So we got Tasha backstage. I think she got a question or comment, so I'm gonna bring her up.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Tasha, are you ready? I'll bring her up. Tasha. I don't think she's ready. Maybe she hit the wrong link. I'm going to remove her. Chris brought up an interesting point about Emmett Till. Now, when we talk about from a fairness standpoint and justice, once that woman acknowledged that she lied, she should have been held liable. Now, granted, she was old and all of that. She should have had her day in court. They should have took her to court because she should have been charged, because she's the reason that Emmett Till died at the young age that he did.
So when has a Caucasian person been held liable for something that they did involving a black person? I mean, the thing is, this woman was well in her 80s or 90s when
those two guys. What was it, Ahmaud Arbery? When he was out,
you talking about the father and the son?
I don't know what the relation was. They were hurt. I mean, I think things like that happen all over. I mean, we could always pick, and we know that the lack of resources in poor communities will have a disadvantage when you go to court. We know that. But I was watching divorce court or paternity court, something like that, and there was a middle-aged white gentleman in there that had been in jail, has served 5 years in jail, and then came to find out, because of child support, right? And then come to find out the child won't even his.
Man, brother.
Welcome to America.
Yeah, that's crazy. I do want to go back to a point that Raymond was making about having money and buying your way out of these situations. And that may be true to a certain extent, because even now, Michael Jackson, rest in peace, there still talks about how he molested these kids. And, you know, Michael went to court a few different times over these claims. and he was never found guilty.
Exactly.
Never found guilty. But public opinion outweighs what the court said in that situation. And that's crazy. So this man is still considered by some people a child molester, even though he was never found guilty of that.
And some of the people that said, they said, I saw where they said where their parents had told them to say that.
Yeah.
And they said, no, he didn't do anything to me. So, I just don't know. It's such we hope that in dealing with these situations, I know earlier you were talking about the deals. Sometimes people get a good deal that's guilty too.
Oh, no. I agree. I agree.
Sometimes those deals are
for the
made.
righteous.
Again,
The system ain't for the righteous. The system is just for the who has the deepest pockets.
I think what I would want to know is with having kids and a family growing up in this world that we are in, how do you avoid situations like this? Because it could be a simple traffic stop. It could be being at a party. It could be just visiting somebody's house and a fight break out. But how do you avoid being in situations like this? Because time after time again, people are in the wrong place at the right time when it comes to being caught up in the system in these situations. So what can we do to put ourselves in a better situation so we don't get caught up in these situations?
I mean, I look at so many cases that I just see different. It's like somebody breaking my car, and I react overacting. They threaten me, and I do something to injure them. Then I'm locked up. Now the off-duty police, you breaking his car. He's not. He can be in another jurisdiction, not even him, don't even work in his city. He do the same thing, and there's no consequences. He don't go to jail because he defended his household or he defended his car. So I mean, it's like it depends. It's crazy, man. Because if you know somebody in the system, or you political, or you got friends in big places, and you do something, and they could go play golf with the judge or anything, and they know lawyers and help them out with this time, and boom, they can get them out for situations. But the normal person, man, he got to go in there and plead his case, regardless it was a self-defense or whatever. Even though he still might, it's a 50-50 chance he might still get locked up. And just like you were talking about that case on the show about the woman trying to defend or help for the kids, and she's abused. It's the system screwed, man. It's not a righteous system. Don't never ever look at justice as righteous. It's a two-way door. It could be wicked or it could go in your favor. It ain't never 100% righteous. Ain't nothing because he's a judge and got a mantle. Boom. It don't mean he's God and he's righteous. It just means he just convict you of something, regardless you innocent or not, or you did do it. It just is a screwed up system. I mean, they don't know for real, but they take people's lives and can destroy it. Now, and the crazy thing, some people are like habitual offenders of murders and all types of stuff out here, and they can walk through the system and may beat the system, and then they might be locked up, and then the time they get might not even be, you can do something like people sold drugs, and still locked up, and somebody done murdered 2-3 people, and they out before the drug dealer who had some weight is out.
No, yeah,
So, I mean, the system has always been screwed up.
Now it's we understand that that's the course that we go on when we die. I mean, one of the best things you could do is other than seeking legal counsel is to figure out your rights, know your rights, know the laws, know the system in which you are residing in, and make sure that with that you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's, because, you know, just as much red tape that we go through in life is just as much uphill legal fines and accusations that will be levied against you as a person that you know, that's out here walking in the system that we walking in.
Now that's
We
interesting.
got a couple comments popping up. One from Natasha Williams. Unfortunately, we have a legal system that is corrupt. The system wasn't set up for us. We also have another one that's pretty good. Charles Sneed Jr. Look at what happened to Allen Iverson. He got locked up and there was no visible evidence of him fighting. And I remember that.
Oh, I remember that.
Probably remember that as well.
Yeah, we all remember that.
That, you know, there was no evidence of him fighting, but he got locked up because he had the biggest name.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. I want to revisit what Raymond said about knowing your rights. And I agree with you. You need to know your rights, but oftentimes when you know your rights and are approached by law enforcement, they get upset. They get upset, and it's almost like they go above and beyond to punish you even more when you know your rights. And I give you several years ago, when I was younger, I was on my way to Virginia, and a friend of mine was driving my car, and he was speeding. I told him not to speed through a certain area before we get to Virginia. He was speeding. We got pulled over, and the officer asked to search the car. Could he search the car? And I said no. So he asked me again, do you understand what I asked you, Mr. Jones? I want to search your vehicle. I said, absolutely not. Do you know he was furious because I wouldn't allow him to search the vehicle? Furious. You know, it had another incident. Riverdale, Georgia, got pulled over by the police. Same situation. Asked to search the vehicle. I refused. He made me wait till they got a search warrant. We were there for I don't know, maybe an hour and a half. Got the paperwork, searched my vehicle, popped my hatch, drew down his pistol on me, told me to put my hands on top of the car, cuffed me, and was getting ready to arrest me for a concealed weapon. He found a baseball bat in my hatch. That's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. He said I had a concealed weapon because I had a baseball bat. All because I wouldn't allow him to search my car. And I made it inconvenient for him. So, you know, it's almost like a lot of times you're in a lose-lose situation. You know your rights. You take advantage of knowing your rights, and you still get punished.
Right.
That's
we
crazy.
got another comment in from Natasha Williams. We also need, we also need to show up for small elections to make sure we elect people who represent fairness. And there is no truer statement.
I mean, you can say that. You can say that, but that I mean, I hate to be pessimistic in the response, but I mean, you can elect who you want, but if there is a certain criteria they got to abide by, they're gonna abide by that criteria when they know the big wigs on top is the one that's you know, giving out the you know, their checks and their marching orders.
Well, I mean, in that case, now hold on, because if you elected, your boss are your constituents. If it's an elected position, then you're supposed to be representing the people.
I got you.
You got something to say, Tiller? What's up?
No, I was just laughing because he said they're supposed to represent. I haven't seen nobody represent the people, and I don't know when. So I mean, I see a lot of people get in the office, but I don't see no representing, because I mean, it's just what it is. They get in there and say what they got to say to get in the office. But when have you seen somebody represent the people? For real. I mean, I mean, ain't no Malcolm X and Martin Luther Kings no more. We shall overcome. I mean, it's just a bunch of people get in there to grease their pockets, man. The counselors and all that. I ain't seen nobody fix the city, work the city, put communities in for the kids to get off the streets, to try to stop the drugs, put the people in rehab to clean. What? I mean, it sounds good because you want council voting that. You are accountable for yourself. The people, if you want the community fixed, the people got to come together. Ain't nobody gonna get in office and do nothing but collect their money. That's all they want. They don't care about the community. They'll say what they got to say because, I mean, actions speak louder than words. The man can front his whole money and still work hard to bring other people out there in the community, and he's a good mayor or politician or whoever, and walk the streets and do what he got to do and clean up with glass and go out here and clean the drugs up and try to talk all the people on fentanyl to clean up the streets and do all that. But man, putting somebody off, man, come on, cut it off.
It takes
the world. If people were doing what they're supposed to be, the world wouldn't be where it is at right now.
Wake up. Still some people that's doing good work. There's still people doing good work. It's still a responsibility of the citizens.
What you mean good work, man?
Huh?
It depends on what you mean good work. I don't see nobody doing no good work. I don't see nobody getting no. I see a lot of people. I see a lot of talk. I said all my life, all I seen was this. I do not see action. Action always speak louder than words.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. It just
I mean, they're not gonna do nothing. But I mean, come on, we can skip that. You know, that's no different, man. We got churches on every corner. We got everything on every corner. If they was really trying to straighten everything out, they would be out there fixing the community. You can't walk 2-3 blocks without a church on the corner. If their pastors really were trying to, or anybody was trying to do something, or even the politician trying to do something, they'll be out there cleaning out the community. Point blank. Let's stop.
And you know, that's a good point. We got the presidential
don't even go that way, man.
Going on right now. And what are the candidates doing right now to show the public that they're involved with making sure that their constituents are taken care of, other than, you know, giving false promises? And I'm only saying false promises based off of past presidents. And what are they doing to make us feel like that it's about us? What is being said? What is being done? I mean, you know, Kamala is in office as vice president right now. Trump has been in office. So what has really been done to back up these empty promises that have been given to us? That's my thing. And I know that as far as, you know, what's going on in the area you live in, like Natasha said, it's about going out to the polls in these small elections and making sure we put the right people in place. But like Chris said,
harsh.
You know,
that's harsh.
Well, that's how she said it. I don't, you know.
I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about the comment.
Oh,
I mean, look. Well, let's just see. I don't want to be. That's why I don't want to be so negative about it. But this
all it as it is, man.
This is the path that's going on. I mean, when you talk about the promises, and we're gonna talk about let's just say the one of the main promises that Kamala is you know, bringing about is the abortion right to choose issues. I mean, that's an issue that we all know that is you know, prevalent on both this side, as far as well, let me just say the liberal side and then the conservative side. Liberal side, you know, the women want their right to choose. Conservative side saying, hey, look, our numbers are dwindling, so we need to make sure that we can keep the babies pumping and coming, you know. So that's why, you know, we want to slash it. So it's like, okay, it's just another back and forth ping pong toss. That's not a situation that's gonna be like magically disappear and, you know, everything is gonna be honky dory. It's always gonna be something that is gonna be paddled back and forth to the people, so that people can continue to, you know, be divided more about issues that they know that is not going to be readily resolved.
The big thing you just said, divided, man. And I mean, I don't even want to. It's a waste of time at this point right now to even speak on this because people gonna do what they want to anyway. It's no different than a grandmama telling a child, don't bounce the ball over there. You're gonna knock it over. They're gonna knock it over anyway. So whatever you say, their mind is already made up. Because when somebody asks you, what should I do, and you already tell them your boy, and they do opposite of what you told them because they already knew what they wanted to do, but they just wanted you to say the same thing they wanted to hear. I mean, when it comes to voting, no matter Kamala or no matter Trump, no matter whatever you put down to show them, boom, 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 they ain't doing this, boom, 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 he ain't doing this, boom, 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 they gonna still find a reason to do what they want to do. That's like, to me, I just feel like everybody waiting. I keep saying the same thing. Y'all waiting for one of them to become Jesus to save y'all, to take y'all out of Egypt, to take y'all to the promised land, to help y'all learn how to run the country correct. And instead of the people, they supposed to work for us, but y'all work for them. They tell y'all what to do like children. Y'all look up to them like they gods, and they just gonna change. They gonna get elected, and everything for the black people gonna be satisfied and changed no matter what. But no, they just the puppets. They just the puppets. And until you understand they just the puppets, and the electoral vote is what put people in there, you can vote to your red, white, and blue. It might go your way, it might down. All it is the electoral vote. It's already chosen before we go in there. You just playing the nerd up in the game. So I was like, wait for me to even. I don't even want to go about who's in. Like, I don't even care about the election.
I will say this: the last presidential election left a bad taste in my mouth based on the numbers. I should say, seeing Hillary Clinton pretty much believing that she won, and then they announcing that Trump won. He didn't even believe he won. If you saw his facial expression, he was shocked. So, I was a little disappointed on basically how everything went, and then all the allegations that came out about, ballot tampering that took place. That kind of shook my faith a little bit up in the voting system. But my thing is this, like Chris said earlier, when are we gonna take responsibility for what's going on? Because we're their bosses. I like how you put that. We are their bosses. So when will we stand up? Because you see certain people challenge the system. You see it all the time. But when can we do it as a collective and come together instead of all this bickering back and forth? I'm Democrat, I'm Republican. Listen, people living in poverty, whether you're Democrat or Republican, you're dealing with some of the same issues. So my thing is, why not come together and try to resolve these things instead of bickering back and forth? Who's the better candidate? Oh, I vote for Trump. Oh, I vote for Kamala. It doesn't matter. You're dealing with the same issues. Come together and figure out how you can get your official to correct these situations going on in your community.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Also, I wanted to say something on, like, I know I'm going back, but we were talking about the justice and things like that. And I know you were talking about the police and how they get mad. Some of them feel like they're above the law, and they use their badge to do things they shouldn't do. So, and the thing is, even in our community, and I'm not just saying the urban community or us like that, we supposed to feel protected. We supposed to feel like they are here for our best interest. But some of them are racist, and some of them look at us as criminals, and they do illegal searches and all type things to us. I mean, they harass us. They do things, and then some of us are hardworking, honest people that we still got to feel, racially profiled and everything through these people. And the system, like I say, it's not a fair game. But I don't feel the same as some of the people I work with who can get in their 4x4 truck and drive and go. I can tell you story after story after story that don't even make sense. And I know I've been racially profiled through the law system. But it's just the way it is. It's to a point that you're so numb that you're used to this. It's at a point I don't even want to challenge it because I know that what's going to happen. I know ways of challenging the system, but you got to have everything in order to challenge it. And then, like you say, when they realize the law and you in there challenging them, they gonna get mad, and then they want a whole reception, and then they want to come back with other people, and then they want to take it hard on. because now he's a smart, he's a smart end. He's a smart end person. They don't like that. They want you stupid, deaf, dumb, and blind, and going in this system, and they can railroad you if they want. And then you pleading, I'm begging for mercy, and to a man who he's not God, he's not justice. Unless you really did some heinous stuff, I understand that. But why should you beg for something that when you say you innocent? And people stand on the ground saying they innocent from day one all the way to a DNA test come back and they was really innocent. What can a law then say? I'm sorry, we took away 40 years from you. What can you give me if you robbed me of 40 years? What can you do to make me feel good again? Because you took my youth, especially when I was young. The things I wanted to do, you took away from me. I can never get time back. So how can you fix that?
You can't.
You can't.
And to build off of what you said, feeling safe, that's some nonsense. Because depending on what area you're in, if something happened, whether a robbery took place, whether something was stolen, if you call the police, it may be hours before they show up. Yet, less than 2, 3, 4 miles away, they're sitting in a speed trap trying to catch somebody speeding. That makes no sense to me. It's more important to write somebody a ticket for speeding versus catching the criminal that robbed somebody or shot at somebody or did something to somebody. That's ridiculous. But in a lot of areas, I'm telling you, it is important that they write these tickets, man. It's important. It's imperative.
I got to say this. I'm just curious, man. And we got friends who in the law enforcement that we could and everything. But is it entrapment if you are speeding and he got a speed gun and you see him and you slows up before he gets to you and you drive past him doing speed limit and he still pulls you over and gives you a ticket? Is that justice? Or do I got to be flying past him like back in the day and they was hiding behind a building or behind a billboard and then they turn on their sirens and get me for speeding because I passed them? If I literally didn't pass you doing that speed limit and I see you and I slow up and you hit me with a gun, probably half a mile or whatever coming up, is that justice for you to give me a ticket? Or is that entrapment? Is it legal? Or this is a gray line that you can just get money off me? Because I didn't speed past you at all. I slowed up. Matter of fact, I was slower than the speed limit, and you still put your sirens on and got me. Is that legally correct to do?
I mean, the only thing I'll say to that, I'm just gonna say this, is I don't think it's parameters on the law like that. I think it's like if
they make the law as they go. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the speed gun has a radius, a longer radius to detect you. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people. This is, and this just I'm gonna go off a little bit. A lot of people, I think the common misconception people think is that if the officer is on the opposite side of the street, let's say you on the highway, you on the opposite side, you on the opposite side, and you speed, everybody will put brakes on to stop, lower their speed, and the cop is on the other side, going the other direction. Or stop with somebody he pulled over. The whole why do that knowing that he's not gonna break from one lane, I mean from going to the opposite direction just to come get you. If he ain't on that side clocking you, on your side clocking you, he's not gonna come get you. You know what I mean?
I don't know about that, Sean. I've been pulled.
I'm saying, my thing is, I look at it like this: when you speed, either you're gonna get caught or you just take your foot off the doggone pedal and just let that joker just glide to a safe speed. Because I know most time I do that, I don't get no hits on me. It's just people. They just when you panic,
you look guilty.
There you go. That's where I was getting.
Well,
to.
I mean,
and it spikes their machine when you hit the brake like that. The best thing to do is to either lower your
most of them know you. Most of them know you speeding.
Yeah.
Most of them know you speeding. You know, they ain't sit up here talking about some. Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna get all of them. You know, it's just that one that always act like, oh, I'm trying.
All right, but check this though. But check this. Them same individuals who write them tickets, give you a ticket for speeding, then they get off work and they drive fast the same exact way.
That's you right. You're right.
They got a habit. And the reason I know that because I watch them, and they got a habit because they be flying all day long in that car. And their habit, they picks up a habit even when they get off the drive the same exact way.
You're right.
They always spinning when they even off. They speeding just like that, but they get tickets for you doing it. But they do the same thing when they get off work and they speed in their regular car the same exact way.
I'll add on to that. Just because I know this. I know that's where you going with it. If you got the black and blue little sticker that's on the back of the car, you know, the black stripes and the blue one in the middle,
right?
Anytime if there is a notion for you to get pulled over, most of the time when they see that, they might be like, "Hey, look, man, I need you to kind of slow down, man. I know you part of the brotherhood, but just slow down, man. Have a nice day." You know what I mean?
So have you experienced that?
I haven't experienced that. I just know that
I don't think that matters at all. That's why I'm asking you. I don't think that matters at all. I think it's a gimmick that they tell people to donate money to it, and I don't think they work at all.
Well, I do know because I work in the medical field that they do show certain courtesies to certain people working in certain fields. So if I used to keep my stethoscope over my rear view, I got pulled over one morning. I know I was well above the speed limit, and he gave me a warning and said, "Mr. Jones, you have a good day. Slow it down."
I can say this. Let me add on to it. Let me add back on to that. When I was in the military, and I was speeding, I was going a buck. Got there going down the road. Got there. I seen the sheriff. It was a sheriff. He got there go see me going. I was like, God, I can't because I'm racing behind another car. Next thing you know, he see me. Rip, rip, rip. Lights come on, pull me over. All I did, I pulled out my credentials, and one of them was that daggone military ID. And I just showed like they say, "Look, son, let me tell you something. Slow it down, man. I know you're in the rest, but slow it down." Gave my daggone my stuff back, sent me on my way.
Hey, Chilla, let me ask you a question, man. What back in the day, what you remember what happened to us in Gwinnett County when I had that Volkswagen?
Oh.
Share that story, man. Share that story.
You sure, man?
Another throwback.
I don't know if I want to share that story.
Share the story, man.
Just clean it up, dog. Just clean it up.
I ain't gonna talk about a scenario, but I mean, I'm just saying we were driving. We was in a Volkswagen Golf, and we was a carload.
Say what kind of car we were in again?
We're in a Volkswagen Golf. We 4 lanes over. 4 lanes over now. 4 lanes over. The police is over here. We go past. He turns his siren on. We way over this side. He said, when he pulled us over, we asked, why you pulled us over? He said, I pulled y'all over because y'all were driving so fast that my car shook.
He was in a Crown Vic.
He was country. He said, my car shook. I said, what? We 4 lanes over in a Volkswagen Golf. He said, my car shook.
Y'all broke the sound.
He didn't know how fast we were going. He didn't have no gun. He said we were driving so fast that my car shook.
Now look,
y'all broke the sound barrier. That's what that was. Y'all broke the sound barrier.
He was off, man. He was off, and it was so bad, man. He was looking at my tent. Yeah. He pulled one one of my partners out the car and made them go through doing the test for the DUI. I had them touching his nose, walking a straight line. And he off duty.
Driving?
Sobriety.
He off duty.
Yeah.
What was the guy in your car? Was he driving?
He was driving my vehicle. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Off duty cop now. He didn't clock us for anything, but he said the reason he pulled us over because I was driving so fast my car shook his.
Yep.
Hey, I got a comment on the board. Charles Sneed Jr. There's an agenda being pushed and different narratives are being spun to mask the truth.
Well,
It's a lot of ways it's perceived, that message.
Yeah,
I can say
I wish Big Ro would come on in and explain that a little bit more.
I wish too, because that's a lot.
All I'll say on that is the corporate oligarchy is can be the mask over that. But that's just my opinion.
Explain yourself, Shine.
I don't think I need to explain what is already obvious. If I say corporate oligarchy, that's exactly what I mean. The corporate oligarchy, which is the ones that control a lot of the laws that are being the political figures that are being placed in office.
All right, so if anyone has a comment or a question you'd like to come on live, the link is in the very top. I'm gonna shoot it up on the screen right now. Bam. Oh, that's not it, is it? Nope, that's not it.
That's not it.
This is it right here. The link is at the very top of the chat. If you got a question or comment, you want to come on live with us. Otherwise, you continue to chat in the chat. And let's keep it moving, fellas.
No doubt.
Keep it moving.
Getting back to the court system, you bought it. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
No, it's so many janks. I remember I say I don't like to name nobody's name, but we just say E in Georgia.
Okay.
When we stayed in an apartment, and I just say Everett. You don't know that. You remember we was in an apartment. We was out, Jonesboro, and a security dude knocked on our door, and me and Everett went to the door, and Everett got in an argument with him, and he called one of his policeman buddies, which he had no reason to do, but they came back and knocked on the door, and Everett went to the door, and they snatched him out and locked him up.
Well, that's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm tripping like, yo, you can't do it. They locked him up he didn't have no reason, man. But we was in our apartment, but it was just wild, man. They snatched him out the jail, man. So locked him up.
Hold on.
Rolling down memory lane.
Hold on, D. We got Ro in the chat, so maybe he can come in and explain the comment.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
I'm gonna pull you up, Ro. You ready? All right, cool. There he is.
Yo, what's up, brother?
Bro, what's going on, sir?
Not much, man. My fault, man. Taco meat out, man. Chilling.
Nah, it's cool,
he got on a wife string.
Tomorrow Taco Tuesday, so we right on point.
Hey, look, I thought he'd be locked in on the game.
Look, that's what I was gonna say. I love y'all because the Steelers on, but check it. So what I'm trying to explain is it's one main or two main agendas being pushed. I won't name them because one of it contains a lot of people that that we care about dearly, right? And it has nothing to do with anything but what it is, right? So basically what everything is about is the oppressor staying the oppressor and the oppressed remaining the oppressed. It really doesn't matter. Like what kind of voice you use or how you use your voice or whatever it is you say. Everything is structured and funneled to come out the way they need it to come out. So they'll spin this did it narrative. They'll spin the Lil Durk narrative. They'll spin all these different narratives to keep you focused on that way, looking that way, while they doing what they got to do over here.
The magician.
If I got them focused on baby oil and what celebrities were on tape and who was caught where, then they can't see the fact that we getting ready to go into a whole, they trying to bring us into a whole dictatorship. They trying to mess around and bring the horses back. They about to put the ropes back out in the woods, fellas.
While we worry about needing new facelift.
Hey, bro, I'm trying to tell you, while you looking at love and hip hop, you worried about who Mendici's with or who this, that, and the other going on. Man, they doing some dirty stuff. They doing some dirty stuff. So, I mean, are people really paying attention to what's going on in Israel? Do people really understand the ramifications of what's going to happen if certain things or certain moves don't take place? It's getting ready to get real out here.
Yeah.
But no, I gotta go with Chilla on this one, right? Chilla is ranting and doing what need to be done and saying what need to be said, right? Yes.
we get the point.
Man, listen, man. Family business don't stop, right?
Right.
But I'm just saying, man, just keep your eyes open and your ears focused, man. And what we really want to do is we want to encourage people to use the voice, but use your voice how you choose to use your voice.
That's right.
Don't let these people pigeonhole you and force you to use your voice to speak their narrative. You get what I'm saying?
No doubt. No doubt.
So that's what I mean when I say it's an agenda being pushed, because it is. And they're using different narratives to keep us focused off of what's really going on.
True that.
Well, I appreciate
You know what I mean?
You cleared it up for us.
No doubt.
Yes, indeed. Always, man. Love y'all, man. Sixburg, baby. You know what it is.
Love to the fam, bro.
Yes, sir.
Bro.
All right. Yeah, so back to what he was saying. I mean, the point is to let your voice be heard. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying, what Chris was saying earlier about people we elect, we have to keep the people that we elect, we have to keep them accountable.
That's the biggest thing.
We have to keep them accountable. And we can't get lazy. And it's easy to get lazy because America is, don't get me wrong. I know we have our issues. But it's pretty comfortable here. When you compare it to third world countries, second world countries, it's pretty comfortable here. In some situations, I'm not saying that some things that aren't out of pocket and some things that aren't against certain people of color and of status, but there are some situations that can be handled differently where you can go home, or like you guys told stories of when the cop pulled you over and they let you go. There's a lot of examples of that. I remember one time, because when I was in high school, I actually worked with a group that volunteered for the police department in the city we grew up in. And I got pulled over because this pedometer in my car, in my mother's car at that point, was not working. So I was just trying to drive what I thought there might have been a speed, and I got pulled, and I gave the police officer my driver's license, and I gave him my police volunteer credentials, my badge. And you know what he told me? You know what he told me?
Oh, you want to reply back?
He told me that you should know better. I'll be right back. and went and wrote me a ticket. So the thing about it is, I mean, that's why I said that thing about those stickers with the blue stripe in the middle. Man, I don't believe that stuff, man. I think that's just a gimmick to get money to whatever fundraiser that's raising money at that time.
I mean, some situations it works, some situations it don't.
Man, some people, I mean, I ain't getting into that, but some people are part of organizations. They can do handshake, signals, all type stuff, and they walk away free of a lot of stuff. It's just, it's like I say, they part of something, and it's like they look out for the brotherhood. Like you say, the brotherhood don't turn against the brotherhood, but even with the law, you a rat and low down if you turn against them and testify against them, but yet they prosecute people in the street and want the people to turn against each other. Then I look at the system like this. You will rat out somebody and call them in for reward. That's like no different than Judas did the same thing to Jesus. You turn somebody in for some silver. I mean, you just as rotten as the system. The system is no good either way. But then you got to look at it. Some people out here terrorists in our own community that's messing it up for the good people that's trying to work good in the community, and they terrorizing the people. Then they looking at a crooked system, and they looking like they don't have nowhere to turn. So it's like we all jacked up in this world, in this system, because the people are not compassionate, and then you got the same people that we look for help is not compassionate. If they could be racist, and they make it hard for people who are just trying to work, trying to have a good life, trying to make a good living, who's just trying to do right. And then when something tragedy happened to you, you got to turn to the same people that you feel like that could be racist. You don't know. Some of them nice. Some of them could be whatever you want to call them. They could be just ain't no good. But we got to go through that process. I'm pretty sure, like you say, on the other side of the neighborhood, you could call a lawman and they might be there in 5 minutes. And your side of the neighborhood, you got trouble. You call a lawman, you might be whatever, dead or whatever. Somebody breaking in your house, you call a lawman, we'll be there. It'll be an hour later. So you got to look at it. The same system that we pay taxes for, the same system to get these people good jobs, to wear these badges, who want to be overseers like they was doing the slaves and monitoring, policing the slaves. They still policing us. They got us in projects with fences up. They got us in communities with zip codes by each other like cells. They just it's messed up, but people think this is freedom and this is heaven because I'm in America. But when you stand, you can just walk on your porch and you ain't got no yard, and you right back in the next person's yard. That's tighter than a cell. They don't want to spread far out. They want to keep us bundled together. They don't want us to go the next house a half a mile or a mile apart. They want us bundled together so they can keep a close eye on us.
I hear you. Do you want to wrap this up?
Yeah, I just want to say, this show, we do this for the community. So I just want to remind people, what is a community? A community is a group of people living together with a common goal. So just because you may think that, it's not affecting your household, if something goes on in your community, you feel like you can turn your back on it and nothing may happen. Well, nothing may happen today, but that doesn't guarantee that nothing will happen tomorrow. So anything that happens in the community can affect all of us. So we need to be aware. I just wanted to drop that jewel on you. And you know how we do it. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Get established.
This has been another episode of the Get Established Show. We appreciate you guys checking in, tuning in with comments, questions, and being active in the chat. We look forward to being with y'all each and every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is big for Chilla, D. Jones, and Shine. This has been episode 51 of the Get Established Show. Thank you for being on with us, and have a great night.